new study published in the journal Jama Surgery looks at the, quote, long-term regret and satisfaction with decision following gender-affirming mastectomy. Researchers surveyed people who underwent so-called top surgery to see how they felt 2 years after their surgery and found the median decisional regret score was 0 on a 100-point scale, and the median satisfaction score was 5 on a 5-point scale. The majority of the people surveyed for the study were between the ages of 26 and 27 when they underwent mastectomies. Joining us now to break down this study and more is Oli London, spokesperson for the Fairness First PAC and author of the soon-to-be-released book, Gender Madness. Oli, so great to be with you today. Let's talk a little bit more about the study that just came out yesterday. There were 139 people who responded to the study survey out of initial 235 patients who were eligible to take part in this. So not really a huge study, but certainly not minuscule. That said, do you think the results are reflective of what you're seeing when it comes to so-called gender-affirming care?
Well, we can't look at the results of this and try to get guidance or advice from it because it's only 139 participants. So that doesn't really tell us anything. And also the fact that the majority of these people went under double mastectomy after the age of 26, that normally indicates that these adults were already very sure and clear of themselves if they waited their whole life to do these surgeries. So, you know, if it was 18 or 19-year-olds, I think we'd see a large number of regrets and, detransitioners. But because these adults were over the age of 26, I think they were dead set and sure on their ways, and this study even got community noted on Twitter. CNN was trying to claim that this is evidence that gender-affirming care is a great thing for all people and adults when, I don't think we should trust a study that has such a small number of participants, especially given the fact that they were all adults over the age of 26.
Yeah, and according to the research paper abstract, sounding a little clinical here, the study was deemed to be important because there has been, quote, increasing legislative interest in regulating gender-affirming surgery due in part to decisional regret. That's what they call it. Oli, let's talk more about this. I know this is something that you really have been on top of at the state and federal level here in the United States, but most of these discussions, if not all, they focus on children. And the participants, again, in this study, they were adults.
Right. So, if we look at the results in Sweden, Sweden previously was the pioneer in gender-affirming care for children. They were prescribing puberty blockers and hormones. But earlier this year, Sweden actually reversed their decision and said, you know what, we've got some long-term data. This isn't actually beneficial or good for kids. So they've actually now changed their policy. Similarly, in the UK, they have now banned puberty blockers for the under 16. So, we have to look at Europe. They were kind of pioneering these surgeries and procedures prior to America. And we've seen this explosion in America really in the last few years of pediatric clinics popping up everywhere. So we have to look at Europe, which has slightly longer term data. They are now saying that it's actually harmful, it's not beneficial, and it can, impede a child's development and cause them to have physical and mental struggles as they become an adult. So we need to look at that because, in America, we've seen the boom in transitioning kids in the last 5 years, but there's no real long-term data on the benefits or the negative effects of doing this to kids.
Yeah, and meantime, the American Academy of Pediatrics, it announced that it's doing a review of so-called gender-affirming care for children who have gender dysphoria, things, as you mentioned, as cross-sex hormones, puberty blockers, and even double mastectomies. That said, last week, the AAP voted to reaffirm its past policy on gender-affirming care, which calls for those exact types of treatments. Oli, help us sort this out. I'm not a doctor, but one would think you do the review first. Here. Help us figure out what's at play at this.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you reaffirm a policy and say that everything is fine and you're happy with it without doing a review? And now they're doing the review after that. So it really doesn't make sense. But we have to know that, the American Pediatric Association is about making profit. So if they can transition thousands of kids, they are benefiting from that. So regardless of them doing a review or not, I think the results are going to be skewed in their favor because they want to continue doing this as it is generating billions of dollars every single year.
Oli, we're almost out of time, but I want to make sure I get to this. I know you have been so busy lately speaking out against transgenderism and the effects of gender ideology on children. And you also have a new book that is coming out. Tell us more about that.
So yes, I've got Gender Madness. It's out in 4 days. It's available for pre-order now. And this book is really helping parents and helping young people that are struggling. You know, it's going through what is going on right now with this social contagion, with social media influencing kids, with the school system pushing this on kids, the entertainment industry. So it's going through all of that and how we can help as a society have this conversation, you know, because it should not be controversial to say children cannot consent to having irreversible surgeries or hormones. It shouldn't be debatable. You know, we should be clear-cut with this, that kids cannot consent, but unfortunately that's not the case. So my book is really exposing all of this, what we can do as a society, and I think raising awareness and having education about the facts of how this is being pushed is incredibly important. So Gender Madness, I hope, helps a lot of people dealing with this issue.
Absolutely. Where can people find it?
So right now it's available for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles and Walmart, and available in all stores from the 15th.
All right, we'll check it out, Oli. Thank you so much, and congratulations on the book. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.